Welcome back to a new kind of making comics. What you're gonna be seeing here right now is me doing the first page of my webcomic, which doesn't have a name right now as I'm recording this because I haven't decided on a title yet. But I know what it's gonna be about. And the first page is actually introducing the main character, which is gonna be a boy, teenager, you might say, which is pretty much I'm combining some ideas I had for different kinds of webcomics, but I really wanted to do them all, so I thought why not incorporate them all. What you're seeing now is me sketching the kind of first draft. I did a creature here that I am going to change later on because I didn't feel that this creature was the creature that I wanted for the first kind of event. It's gonna be a world where monsters, magic, and combat and all that is kind of incorporated. I also wanted to have the school kind of thing, so he's gonna be learning what he is, because this main character, this boy slash teenager, is actually someone quite powerful. He just doesn't know it yet. So I'm drawing a lot of influences from different comics and stuff that I like, but I really wanted to have like gothic like creatures and stuff like that, and I want to tackle some themes, so I have more characters gonna be involved in this, so it's gonna become like a mixture of different kind of animes and mangas I've read, and kind of story elements that I've drawn from different comics and stuff like that. And so I got actually a comment about the creature I created. They said it was very Cthulhu-like, which I can kind of see. It's actually more based off Mirror Man, I think his name is, from He-Man, Masters of the Universe, and a little bit from different places. I really wanted some kind of sea creature, some kind of like old classic 80s monster style. And this is the city. I'm trying to get that kind of Tim Burton Gotham City kind of feel to it, because I want it to be not just like a real city. It's gonna be a city that I create. I haven't got a name for it yet, but I think I'm gonna like create my own city, because if I do it in real life, like real places and stuff like that, it's gonna become too real. It's gonna become too grounded in reality, and I don't want that. The main character is something that I've actually been working on for quite a while. His hair was mainly the biggest problem for me, because hair is something that I'm always having an issue with, especially when it comes to guys' hair. Girls' hair I have not so much problem with, actually, because girls usually have a lot of different styles, and you can always just look up hairstyles on Google and just, pick one. Guys usually have like two, maybe a handful of hairstyles, and not all of them is kind of like what I was searching for. It actually took me to find a manga that actually has a kind of similar hairstyle that I liked, and I kind of like copied it, but I changed the hair color because there's a backstory to why his hair color is white, as you will see later on when I'm coloring. Manga Studio is what I'm using here. If someone doesn't recognize the program, it's called Clip Studio Paint Pro, which is the digital version of Manga Studio. There's a licensing issue, between Clip Studio Paint Pro and Manga Studio, because it's kind of like almost two different studios or something like that. That's why they're called different, but it's pretty much Manga Studio 5 that I'm using here, and I'm slowly moving on from Photoshop to this program, because it's a better program. It's cheaper. It's more suited for what I need. However, it's got some issues with the coloring stage that I'm still struggling with, but I'm, cooperating, and I'm trying to learn how to do it more efficiently, because the coloring is also the next problem for me. The first idea I had about this was actually just this, where you see I'm inking right now, and my first idea was to do it like a manga with screen tones, grayscale, and pretty much just monochrome black and white. But as I moved on, I realized that I need to put the color back in, because otherwise it's gonna become very very dark webcomic that perhaps not maybe everyone wants to see, because I want to have serious moments in this comic, and I want to have fun moments in the comic. I want it to be kind of a mixture, kind of like, well, the best comparison I can give is like kind of like Naruto Shippuden, where people actually could die, and there are some silly moments, there are some, character development, but in the end, it's about serious issues and a journey. And it's kind of like what I want to do with this main character. I want to make him a character that goes through a lot, and this is pretty much just me making it a more easy way in to get to know the character, and me getting to know the style and how to draw it, because I can guarantee you right now I'm gonna be evolving it more and more the more I draw, but I have to start somewhere. And there are some things that I'm not like the main character in the third panel here is actually, oh well, now we're on the second panel here, but in the third panel where he's being chased by the monster is something that I wasn't sure if I was okay with it, but I feel like you have to be kind of like you have to let it go. You have to realize that it's good enough, just move on, because in the end someone is gonna read this and probably think it's really good and all that, but it's gonna be very quickly read, and maybe the majority of people will not emphasize on the details of the art and all that, which I'm very picky. I need to draw it very detailed and stuff like that, but I also have to keep it very simple, because why I chose this more cartoonish, more simple style is because I need it to have the emphasis on the faces, and so you can really feel what they are going through. Because the monsters will probably be more detailed than anything, and the characters are gonna be a little bit more cartoonish, but it's a purpose behind that. I want to have the facial expressions that really tells what it is, because when you do it very realistic, I feel that you sometimes lose it, and if I do it like superhero comic book stylish, it's gonna become more satirical, more like a just a regular book. I mean, it's just gonna blend in. What I wanted to do was just get the simplest style to tell a very advanced story. So yeah, as you can see, I'm doing the coloring now, and I had a lot of issues with this, because I was struggling between, am I gonna do it in like black lines? As you can see now, I have colored it in a more reddish, like purple reddish line, because I wanted it to be more softer, because I felt that the black was kind of like too much. I wanted it to be more softer, and it helps me when I color it, because when I color it, it becomes kind of like in your face. So I wanted it to be a little bit more. I may however change that back to a black, perhaps, if I feel it's too much issue with the coloring of the lines and all that, because I'm not gonna change every line color, because that takes way too much time. And I had a little bit issue here with the monster, because the green, I chose a green line for the monster because I didn't want it to be too pointed. But as you can see, on the lower it gets, the darker it gets, the lines kind of get blurry and you don't see the line art, as you can see here. And I wanted it to be visible, so I may change some stuff coming up, because the video you see now, the monster color, I chose a green kind of colors for the monster, but I changed afterwards. I changed it. I don't know if I recorded it or not. We will see. Probably not, because I did color changes and I tested what I felt was more that worked better for the panel, and I changed it to a bluish kind of color scheme for the monster. I kept the teeth and the eyes and the globes on his back. They are still the same color, but I changed the skin color of the monster to a more bluish thing, which I just did. I just had the monster's skin color on one layer. Here I did a texture trying to get that, but I felt that it was too much, so you will see me here trying, and then I just realized that no, it's supposed to be clean, it's supposed to be more simple, because sometimes when I work I just forget what I'm doing and I just go by the numbers, and then oops, no texture, take it back, take it all back. So yeah, I'm still trying stuff. That's the point of this whole thing, is that like here, I have never used Manga Studio's actual bubbles, but I knew they existed, so I thought, hey, why not try it? Because I said I was gonna do a kind of manga style comic, so why not, try what it has in the program, so speak. But yeah, and you can see I'm adding to this city because I felt it was kind of a little bit lacking in buildings and stuff. And many of these things that I'm doing is gonna change, but it's a good start. I feel it's a good start. I have a lot of ideas and themes I want to tackle, so yeah, I hope that you will like it. I will try to produce. Well, at least I've said to myself I'm gonna try at least to do a page per week. I may not follow that, but gotta try. So I hope you like this video, and if you want to see more, please help me out, subscribe and comment.